wanted to talk about something that I find interesting. And it's this concept that things are often science fiction and fantasy, becoming reality, and in fact shaping many important issues in the 21st century and beyond. I'll give a few examples of how this has occurred throughout the past, and then go into how this affects many important issues, including business ethics in the 21st century and beyond. So to begin, I'll talk about how this has affected news and media. One example is with the Harry Potter movies, first being released in 2001. There would be newspaper headlines with image clippings that would move and interact while being observed on the page. Nowadays, we would see those as social media feeds, which has videos of people moving and interacting on scrolling news feeds. A more concrete example is in the 1960s TV series Star Trek. Martin Cooper was the head of Motorola's Communications Systems Division and inventor of the mobile phone. He credited Star Trek as his inspiration to invent the mobile phone in 1973. He said the communicator on the series, which allowed the crew of the Enterprise, including Captain Kirk, to instantaneously communicate with people at vast distances, was the inspiration for the mobile phone, which nowadays we would see as our cell phones or smartphones. Data privacy and mass surveillance are two commonly used subject matters throughout science fiction. Now, the concept of data privacy is very important and complex, and I may do a whole video or video series on that. But for the purposes of this video, I'm going to focus on the 2002 sci-fi film Minority Report. In Minority Report, the protagonist of the film, John Anderton, is walking down a corridor where personalized ads for different products and services are popping up and advertising to him by name. In the real world, the equivalent to that is what is constantly taking place on social media feeds in regards to advertising on sites such as Facebook, Instagram, and Amazon. Not necessarily using your name, but have a whole data profile of what a citizen searches, likes, follows, and overall patterns, so they can advertise the highest probability of purchase products to a citizen with personalized advertising and marketing. Another theme throughout the movie is the concept of predictive crime and analytics. In the film, sidekicks have the ability to predict a crime before it happens and have the police prevent it before it occurs. Nowadays, we have predictive crime technologies that are being used currently. In China, they are using artificial intelligence and predictive analytics to track the population, including in the enforcement of crime. The system is literally called Skynet, named after the sci-fi Terminator film. Everything that happens in public can be recorded so law enforcement can know exactly what is taking place throughout the system, either city or countrywide, and in principle, worldwide, depending on what countries agree to use it. The system tracks everyone's face and picks out a criminal or person of interest so the police can be alerted about their location. China is not the only country doing this. In the United States, some neighborhoods have been upgraded with state-of-the-art surveillance technologies. One of them has a set of microphones and cameras used to triangulate gunshots, as well as track citizens in crime in real time, which cuts down an overall response time for law enforcement. Another commonly used theme throughout science fiction is the concept of biological engineering, and I'll give two examples of this. That's from the 1997 film Gattaca, as well as the 2018 Netflix series Altered Carbon. Gattaca is about a futuristic society that can read the genetics of unborn babies to ensure the best genetic characteristics are passed on to the next generation, as well as goes into the dark side of genetic-based discrimination. In Altered Carbon, very wealthy people have the ability to biologically engineer healthier bodies, in some cases combat-enhanced bodies, to be used by the wealthy for whatever purposes they seek. Today, we already have genetic sequencing technology that can read not only the human genome, but all other DNA-based life forms, and will likely improve in its accuracy in the upcoming decades. Another technology is known as CRISPR technology, which allows scientists to go in and edit both the human and non-human genome. It's not perfect, but just like technology constantly does, it's continuing to advance in its accuracy and effectiveness. Which raises important questions in regards to medical ethics. What is considered ethical in regards to editing human and non-human genomes? Are biological enhancements, such as strength, height, speed, and beauty allowed? What about the curing of inherited diseases? How do we effectively regulate this? This is already happening, but there's a whole industry known as medical tourism, that people in one country will fly to another country with a different jurisdiction to have procedures done and then fly back. How do you regulate an international environment effectively? The last question I will ask and not answer. What are the ethics of profiting off of these technologies and services? I will leave these questions open. Feel free to respond in the comments, and I plan on giving my full take on some of these questions and issues in future videos and responses due to the complex nature of these things. So overall, things that are science fiction and fantasy in many ways have manifested itself in the real world and are having implications on important issues today and into the future. So it would be a wise idea for us to consider all the ethical issues coming down the pipeline due to science and technology, because as a society and civilization, we've been gifted these very powerful tools. If anyone remembers Uncle Ben from Spider-Man said, "With great power comes great responsibility." And these powerful tools are just that, tools. They can be used for immense good or immense destruction. So it's on us to define what is ethical and unethical, and then use science and technology for the greater good.